welcome back again to the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Sorry, we're a couple of minutes late getting started tonight. Just some last second equipment and just getting things set up, but all those important last second details you do before a show. Zach is over here still furiously jotting away some things. Indeed, we are making sure we have got all our it's all our T's dotted and I's crossed. I've got that right.
Yeah, and all the ducks in a circle.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I consider it a day if I just find all my ducks. Never mind getting them arranged in any way.
Yep.
So, without any further ado, or before we get into complete silliness, let's dive on in and give an acknowledgement to our sponsors this week, as it is a little bit longer of a read. Of course, first up, the Southern California Warriors semi-pro football team. The world of semi-pro sports is unlike any other sports organizations. Players pay to play in hopes of so many different outcomes, whether it's playing to get filmed to try out for professional teams, big-time colleges, or just playing to stay in shape. No matter what, all semi-pro players have one thing in common, and that's playing for the love of the game. The SoCal Warriors have been on a quest to earn titles and give players second chances since 2017. Whether you're in Southern California or anywhere in the world, give semi-pro sports a chance if you love your sport. You may get that second chance you've been waiting for as an athlete. Find them on Twitter at SoCal Warriors, Instagram at Southern California_Warriors, Facebook Southern California Warriors. Background Check International. Businesses, are you looking to background check a new hire on? Let Kit Fremen take care of that for you. Kit founded and has managed Background Check International since 1994, and he's here to help you with the screening process. Contact Kit and let him help make the hiring process that much easier. This business is used for professional background checks and not for the use of any crimes such as identity theft or any other illegal activity. Go to their website, bcint.com, or find them on Facebook, Background Check International BCI. And then IE Sports Radio. For the last 7.5 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content, ranging from interviewing legendary athletes to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. All the while, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and with your help, we are ready to take the next step. When you go to our website, iesportsradio.com, you'll see our Patreon link with 5 different tiers. The first one starting at just $5 a month. This donation gets you shout-outs on all 27 of our shows, and we've got a 28th lined up in the works coming down the pipe soon. Stay tuned for that. Higher tiers include IE Sports Radio merchandise, access to our podcasting university, and even a chance to be featured on a segment of our flagship show, The Defining Moment. Thank you all very much for continuing to make IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And our website again, iesportsradio.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at IE Sports Radio and on Instagram at IE Sports Radio, or going on Facebook and searching IE Sports Radio. This show is accessible on Twitter. That is at IESR Neutral Zone. I am at Adam_Karnick. Zach is at The Pupless. If you are listening live tonight on Spreaker, please hop on into the chat. Taryn is already there. Good evening, Taryn. He says good evening to us both, by the way.
Good evening, Taryn.
He's sorry he missed last week, but we're keeping him busy while he's doing chores.
Oh, of course.
So anything we could do to make the chores more bearable and endurable, we are here for you, Taryn.
100%.
So if you are listening in live, hop on in. We can interact in the chat that way. Or if you just want to sit back and let us entertain you, we are here. We are not here to judge. However, we can serve you as the listener. And I think with all that, I've stalled long enough. Zach is scribbling furiously there, but as long as he can read it, we're all good.
Of course. My employees always, my trainees, they make fun of me and they say, we can't read your chicken scratch. Hey, I can read it. That's all that matters.
Exactly. I have handwriting good enough to be a doctor. That's what I always tell people.
Yep, exactly. That being said, yes, let's get into Brayden Point. So he's out indefinitely with an upper body injury. Two-time Stanley Cup winner. The Lightning announced the news during the first period of Sunday's game against the Minnesota Wild. Point crashed hard into the boards in the third period in Saturday's 5-3 loss to New Jersey. There was an update tonight. He's now expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. I had seen the 4 to 6 weeks earlier, so when you said indefinitely, I was, oh no, has it gotten even worse?
No, it got better tonight.
Okay.
Indefinitely was last night's news.
Okay, so we have gotten better.
Yes.
We have gotten better news. 4 to 6 weeks.
Yes. Point had an NHL best 14 goals in last season's playoffs. It was the second consecutive season that he topped the NHL in postseason goals. Tampa Bay's already missing star, Nikita Kucherov.
Yes.
Who's out at his 14th game with a lower body injury, is not expected back for another 4 to 6 weeks himself. Point is a veteran staple in what has become Tampa Bay's annual playoff runs. That's going to be tough to replace those veteran minutes on special teams and at even strength.
Yeah, I mean, he's already got 13 points this season for Tampa Bay in 16 games. So he's throughout his career, he has been a point a night kind of a player. Because we make the joke all the time. Oh, Brayden Point, point a night. It's a point game.
He's good for a point, at least.
He's good for at least 1 point, exactly. 7 goals, 6 assists, 13 points on the season. Plus-minus rating of 2 for a forward. That's not as important. That's more of a defensive stat. But they always like to throw that out there.
Sure.
So Tampa Bay, they defeated Philadelphia earlier tonight, 4-0.
Good.
So at least off to a good start there of being without him. But
he's definitely a significant contributor. I think the article I read saw he puts in probably 20 minutes a game at least.
Yes, he's one of their top forwards. He is absolutely one of their top guys. You never want to be without any one of your stars. And it's like at any sport, it's never good for the game when one of your top players is out. As we've heard every coach say in every press conference ever when talking about an injury, though, it's next man up.
Yep.
So coming up, let's see, Tampa Bay's.
Depth.
What's that?
All about depth, for sure.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, Tampa Bay's depth is definitely going to get tested as a result. So the Lightning won tonight 4-0.
So they're Tampa Bay. So how are we going to measure depth? Is that fathoms?
That sound you just heard was me literally just dropping my phone in disgust out of that one.
I could hear you rolling your eyes.
I didn't even remember what I was going to look up.
I'm sorry.
10 minutes in and we are derailed. That's a new record for us on this show. Congratulations, Zach. That was... wow.
You're welcome.
The look on his face, too. You're so proud of yourself.
I know. I just came up with that one.
Yes, sure. We'll measure the depth in fathoms. Yes, we'll run with it for the sake of keeping the show going, if for no other reason. What was I doing? Oh, I was looking up who scored tonight. Who did what for Tampa Bay in their game? That's what we were doing. Vasilevsky was the number 1 star of the night. Well, go figure. You make 34 saves in a shutout. You're gonna
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're gonna get that. Steven Stamkos, a goal and 2 assists.
No surprise.
And then a defensive man that I need to look up his first name. Zach Bogosian was the number 3 star with a goal and an assist for the Lightning. Bogosian scored what ultimately proved to be the game winner, the first goal at 2:28 of the first period. Stamkos and then Corey Perry scored his first goal of the season for the Lightning. And then the final goal, Barre Boulet. I want to make sure I get his first name in there correctly. Okay, right there.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Barre Boulet.
Sure.
I just need to get his first name. You thought I was crazy.
I thought that was his first name and last name. I didn't know it was just his last name.
No, that's his last name, and it's not a guy I recognize. That's why I need to look up his name. Giving me all kinds of Alex Barre-Boulet scored the final goal of the game at 7:26 of the third period. Steven Stamkos got the assist on that. So for Tampa Bay, with the win tonight over Philly, their schedule upcoming for the next. Well, they've got the Kraken next at home. That should be fairly straightforward for them. Sure. Not too challenging of a game there, and then a rematch with the Wild in Minnesota. That's coming up on the 28th. And then they will be in St. Louis to finish out the month against the Blues. That should be a good one. Yeah. That'll be a week from tonight. The Lightning at the Blues on ESPN Plus. That should be a good one for Tampa Bay. They actually have a home and home series with the Blues because they turn around and then play them again next week Thursday. So, but yeah, it's tough when you're down one of your top players like that. Obviously, Tampa Bay's got the depth to survive, but 6 weeks is a long time. I mean, you're talking that's after New Year's that he's coming back. You know, you're talking
2-3
realistically,
games a week, right?
What's that?
Like 2 or 3 games a week. I mean, that's a lot of games.
Yeah, you're talking he's gonna miss the final. Let's see, they've got 3 games left in November. They've got 14 games in December. You're talking easily at least 17 games that he's missing. They've got 13 games in January. The way it lines up, you know, you're talking 5 of them are January 10th or earlier. I wouldn't be shocked if he misses all 5 of those. So yeah, you're easily talking 20 games that he could miss. That's a quarter of your season. So that's a lot of games to be missing your top player. So
him out and Kucherov out, and okay, so you said Stamkos. Yeah, Stamkos scored tonight.
Yes.
Okay, you still got Victor Hedman. Who else?
Well, you've still got Vasilevsky too. And
best goalies, yeah.
Yeah, and goalies.
Defense wins championships.
Defense wins championships, and in hockey especially, having a goalie can help cover for a lot of sins in front of him. You know, as long as he's just continuing to stand on his head night after night after night after night. You know, 34 saves tonight. If he's going to make 30 plus saves a night, hey, you can afford to lose a little bit of offensive production. But
win your games, 3-0, 3-1, 4-1 instead of 7-8 or 6-5 or
or 5-1. You know, now you're maybe only going to win 3-0 or 2-1, maybe some more games like that. But yeah, obviously you still have your captain, you still have Stamkos, you still have Vasilevsky, you've still got talent there, but
yeah.
I'm taking a quick look at the stats. I mean, Stamkos is still the team leader in both goals and points. You mentioned Victor Hedman. He's still leading the team in assists. So you still got your top. Brayden Point is right now 4th on the team in scoring with 13 points. So you still have Stamkos. You still have Victor Hedman. You still got Alex Killorn in front of him.
Yep.
So you've still got that, and they've still got Cirelli, you've got Anthony Cirelli, who's got over 10 points. He's got 12 points. Andre Palat has got 11 points, and Mikhail Sergachev has got 10 points. So they've still got double-digit point producers on the roster right now. Oh, Taryn's throwing a question at us. Tell you what, I will pose your question to Zach here, and then we will take a quick break. Taryn wants to know, the Ducks have lost 2 in a row. Not surprising.
Okay.
But Troy Terry's point streak has ended at 16. Should Taryn be worried or concerned going forward? And the Kings have lost 4 in a row, but they're the Kings.
Oh.
All right. We will answer that question, Taryn, on the other side of a break. This is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio. He is Zach. I am Adam. We will be right back after this.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You gotta check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Live.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. So Taryn asked us right before that break, he wants to know about his Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks have lost their last two games. They lost at home back on the 18th, last week Thursday, to the Carolina Hurricanes. And then they also lost this past Monday 3-2 in Nashville. Honestly, Taryn, I wouldn't be too worried about those two losses. The Predators are very hot right now. They are exceeding expectations to start the season. They are, I think I saw their record was 10-7-1 here to start the season. They are playing hot. I expect that Nashville is going to cool down here at some point. That's the nice thing of an 82-game season in the NHL, unlike something you see in the NFL where they only play 16 or 17 games. You can ride that hot streak for a bigger portion of the season. In the NHL, it's more like basketball or the MLB, where eventually, your preseason expectations are going to kind of level things out. As for the loss at home, well, that was to Carolina. Carolina is one of the top teams in the NHL. They have been for the last couple of seasons. They're going to be one of those teams that's going to be there at the end of the season. They should be making another deep run in the Eastern Conference playoffs. So those two losses aren't necessarily anything to be concerned with. Looking at the Ducks' upcoming schedule, I don't know, Zach. When you look at this, what do you see? We've got. I'll set the stage here. Coming up tomorrow, the Ducks are in Colorado taking on the Avalanche. Then Friday, on the Black Friday, one of the Black Friday special games, they're hosting the Senators. Then a week from tonight, they're hosting the Maple Leafs, and then they finish out, a week from tonight, they finish out the month in Los Angeles taking on the Kings. They take on the Maple Leafs on the 28th. That's Sunday. So Avalanche, Senators, Maple Leafs, and Ducks to finish out the month.
2-2. That's what I see.
I agree. What two are you saying? I think we both agree on one of those.
I think they're going to beat the Senators and the Kings, and they're going to lose the Maple Leafs and the Avalanche. I think it could be a toss-up, looking at the records. but I think it's going to lean Avalanche, just the way the Avalanche has been playing the last couple of years in the playoffs.
Yeah. Avalanche are off to a slow start, so that could be right time to be facing them, to be catching them. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Ducks come out of those 4 games with 4 points. Mission accomplished. You come away with 5 points, an overtime loss in there to somebody, bonus. That's sitting pretty.
Icing on the cake at that point, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So yeah, if they're able to come away with 4 or 5 points in their next 4 games, that would be job very well done. I honestly wouldn't be shocked to see them come away with just 2 or 3 out of those final 4. So should you be worried? Well, they're getting into a little bit of a tough stretch, especially over their next 4, and then the calendar flips over to December. Their first 2 games in December, you've got Vegas and you've got Calgary. Again, they've got some tough games coming up. Sitting in the standings right now for Anaheim, they're in 3rd place in the Pacific Division, 23 points overall. You've got to love the start for Anaheim. For Los Angeles, it's a little bit different of a story. They're sitting there tied with San Jose with 19 points in the standings, tied for 5th in the Pacific Division. That's a little bit different of an animal there in Los Angeles. But yeah, Southern California hockey, well, we'll see what happens with the Ducks. We'll see what happens with the Ducks. Those last couple of games were nothing to be ashamed of in the way they lost them, but you may be looking at a rough streak coming up here, Terrence. So, speaking of long streaks, the Islanders opened up the season. Do you remember how many games on the road? 13.
And they went 5-6-2.
5-6-2 in those 13 is the longest road stretch to open a season in NHL history. But it finally came to an end this weekend. The New York Islanders got to christen their new UBS Arena in Belmont Park. Right where Belmont Stakes, where the horse racing is. Zach, I'm sure you just love your horse racing.
I do, actually.
Ah, okay. All I know about horse racing is they shoot the bugler plays, the horses run really fast, and I lose money. That's what I know about horse racing.
I never bet on it myself, but it's a rite of passage in the spring, and right around the first weekend in May, around here, Blossom Time Parade and everything. Having marched in it umpteen times, you and me both.
Yes.
But yeah, that same Saturday is Kentucky Derby every year except for last year. Anyways.
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and Belmont Stakes, and I always found it fascinating because if you win all 3, you get the quote unquote Triple Crown, and it hadn't even happened in my entire lifetime. And then it happened over the last decade, probably twice, maybe 3 times in the last decade. I'm like, oh my, American Pharaoh, I think was the one that broke the drought. But yeah, fascinating. Like I said, I never bet on it myself, but it just all the festivity and all the let's cover you in roses, cover your horse in roses or whatever, and all the people in their fancy floppy hats and the mint juleps and.
I would be enjoying the mint juleps.
Oh yeah.
That's the part that the fancy hats and the mint juleps. Sign me up for that.
Yeah.
So that's where this new arena for the Islanders is.
Actually, real quick, I had a guest when I was a hotel supervisor. One of my regulars, she had her own little Kentucky Derby party at her house one time, and they had little like peanut butter jars or whatever with each horse's name and number on it, and they'd put their money in there, and the winner would get a share of it. I thought that was so clever, and of course they had to wear the hats and do the mint juleps and do it all upright. But yeah, I thought that was fantastic.
Super Bowl party of horse racing. Is
Yeah.
basically what this sounds like.
Right, exactly. Super Bowl parties eat your heart out.
Much more drinking at this, probably.
Yeah. But continue.
So this is where the new arena for the Islanders is, Belmont Estates there in New York. And not off to a great start from the hockey perspective. They were delayed. Of course, they started breaking ground on it back in 2017. The goal was to have it ready for last year, COVID. So that got delayed. They actually weren't able to work on it at all for a couple of months. So that delayed the opening of the stadium. But they finally opened it up back on the 19th. They had a concert. Chicago was the headlining act. One of my favorite bands, so that was right up there in my alley for me to see that.
Peter Cetera.
What's that?
Peter Cetera.
And then the Islanders opened up by playing the Calgary Flames. Game didn't necessarily go the Islanders' way. They lost 5-2. They then followed that up by playing the Maple Leafs on Sunday and lost 3-0. So 2 games, 2 losses. They haven't even been able to enjoy a lead in their new building yet, but that's okay. They now get to tomorrow night play host to the Rangers in the building. So
Crosstown rivals, but how are the Rangers doing?
Let's.
Now that Lundqvist isn't there.
Yeah. Well, the Islanders too. They've got 6 players, including their captain, out with COVID right now. So the Islanders are playing very short-handed, and certainly that contributed. The Rangers are 11-4-3.
Okay.
The Islanders, meanwhile, are 5-8-2. Ouch. So the Rangers probably are going to spoil that christening too.
The Flames won in that game. They notched goals from Johnny Gaudreau. They got 2 power play goals from Andrew Mangiapane, and the Isles got 2 goals from Brock Nelson. Did
you see Nelson's first one?
No, I didn't.
I watched the highlight of it just before we went on. Wanted to get it. Ideally, I was trying to hear the Islanders goal horn. I'll speak on that in a second. I'm a sound guy. I'm a music guy. You know this. That is very important to me.
You're good.
The first time I went to a Notre Dame hockey game, my wife and I went, and the horn went off, and I just stared up at the rafters and went, weak! Because for me, the United Center horn is the end-all, be-all. That is the standard bearer. And there are a few horns that hold up to it. The Notre Dame horn was not one. The horn in Detroit.
Pitiful.
Oh. Very, very. They need themselves a horn. But I digress. So we're getting off topic. We're good at that.
Yeah. Well, okay. So they lost the Flames. They have Rangers coming up. In that whole streak, they lost 5 straight.
Yes. Yeah. Well, again, when you've got 6 players, including your captain, all out, that losses are going to pile up. That's going to happen to you.
What a clutterbuck.
So the first goal scored by the Islanders in their new building got waved off. It was very anticlimactic. It was on the power play. They got a great face-off win, got to set it up, and then Nelson got off a terrific wrister, bounced off the pipe, and seemed to come out. Nelson thought it went in. Nelson celebrated. They lit the lamp. They didn't fire the horn right away, but they lit the lamp. The ref waved it off.
Oh.
Nelson actually got plowed over because he was busy celebrating, then looked up and, oh no, the Calgary Flames are still playing and I'm not.
Oh no.
So there was some panic. I give the Islanders credit though. They actually maintained control of the puck. They then reviewed it and realized what had happened was the puck, it had bounced off the pipe and hit the camera and bounced out. So it very clearly went in.
Okay.
But it was also fast and the net never moved. You can understand why the referee waved it off.
Sure.
So, but...
Well, after review, it counted.
Yeah, exactly. After review, it counted. So nice use of instant replay to realize that no, this goal counted. It did go in.
Okay.
Can understand why at first the referee waved it off because you heard ping and saw the puck go flying away, but then replay clearly showed that it got past the goal line, hit the camera, and came out.
Sure.
So a somewhat anticlimactic first goal for the Islanders in their new building, and then I heard the goal horn, and it needs bass. You need bass to make a good goal horn. It does not. It's got way too much treble.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's got to fix that feed. I almost said something very different.
They need some Megan Trainor, is what you're saying.
Hmm?
They need some Megan Trainor, all about that bass.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Somebody, a Megan Trainor or somebody, or they just need a teenager in a boombox to come over and guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the subwoofer from my car and put it attached to your goal horn. That's what you need. You need that nice big bass.
You need to find the rebel bass. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I'm done. We're good.
Yes. They need the rebel bass on Dantooine. It's nice and remote, so nobody will miss it, and then they'll just bring it back, and life will be good.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I was looking some more about the building.
Sure.
It's got a capacity of a little over 17,000 for hockey, which is nice, especially coming out of Nassau Coliseum, which was one of the smaller capacities in the NHL.
13,917 for the Coliseum.
Yeah, so one of the smallest arenas that was still in use in the NHL at the time. Also one of the oldest. To now go into a nice new building that, 17,000, 18,000 to get there on a nightly basis.
Yeah. The project itself actually had its roots back in 2007. And then the team had the unpopular move to Brooklyn in 2015. And they played at the Barclays Center, and that only held 15,795.
Yeah, because they had to do because if I remember correctly, Barclay was not built for hockey. It was built exclusively to be basketball.
Yeah, for the Mets.
So they had to very quickly figure some things out to make it work and to make it accommodating there.
Yeah. Tickets for the home opener were going for anywhere between $230 and all the way up to $800.
Woo!
Yeah.
Not a cheap ticket, but they built it with hockey and with music in mind. So I like that. They're speaking my language there with that. Hockey and rock concerts. I'm all for it.
The tickets for said home opener actually sold out months in advance even.
Not a surprise. You build a new building, you get the fan base riled up. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, definitely. It was a $1.1 billion project, and they actually have 17 bars in the whole place.
I saw that ESPN article where they covered the entire game from each of the 17 bars.
Imbibing excluded. At least while they were writing.
I don't know. I know a lot of writers. That seems very unlikely to me.
A bar crawl and a game all in one.
All in one.
I love it.
Exactly. And they got paid to be there.
Right.
As soon as that game and their writing duties were over, that got epic.
Oh, I'm sure.
That got epic.
Well, when they were in the Coliseum, they were actually, well known for tailgating. You think tailgating being more of like a football thing, but they actually did it for hockey, but it's not allowed at this new stadium. So that's why there's so many bars inside the stadium.
You won't let us tailgate outside? Fine, we'll tailgate inside. Right. I applaud the solution.
What's the stupid B-dubs version? We call it tablegating.
No. Just no.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Exactly. Has to be organic.
Yeah.
So kudos to the Islanders on their new building. Hopefully they'll get a victory in there sometime soon. I'm sure that both Harrison and Pierre will be talking about this tomorrow night on the show that never sleeps, our New York show. Especially Rangers and Islanders. That should be a good matchup. So you want to know more about that or know more about the building, be sure to tune in to them tomorrow night.
Yeah. Hopefully it starts to, they get a win, and hopefully it starts to feel like home for them. The article I was reading said that, many fans are going to enter there with a skeptical eye. After all, it is replacing Nassau Coliseum, like you said, one of the oldest barns in the whole league. Fans almost had a religious reverence towards that building.
Oh, yeah.
Stadium cathedrals and all.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It was like when Chicago Stadium came down in the early 90s, where, bless you,
Thank you,
where there were a lot of fans who were very nostalgic and had lots of feelings about that. Barn is the best word to describe Chicago Stadium. But yeah, very, very similar, very similar. Or Detroit fans when Joe Lou came down, and now they're in the Pizza Palace. So
the dojo, the term that I prefer to use.
It works. It works. You are on it tonight with those.
Full night sleep or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
I had two more notes before we move on. So back when they made the move to Brooklyn in 2015, they saw time splitting their games between Barclays and Nassau Coliseum. And now that they have the new arena open, their years of uncertainty over the team's future is over. Now the drama shifts to our year-long joke, Arizona.
They got to find somebody to buy the team first. Then they got to figure out some place to play. I hear Canada's lovely every time of year, so I'm sure Canada would love to have another team.
Yeah, for sure. So Quebec City, maybe.
Quebec City would make a ton of sense. Would make a lot of sense. Gary Bettman, make this happen. All right.
You said 13 of their last games were on the road.
Yes.
So, okay, in order to make up for that, the next 25 of their next 36 games will be at home. And they got a good quote from Isles, forward defenseman Matthew Barzal. What did he play?
Oh, Barzal? Give the quote. I'll
Sure. Matthew Barzal said it absolutely blew him away, the entire facility and the rink and how it was set up. Everything was so high end. We're a really lucky group.
Yeah, the pictures I've seen of it, it definitely looks like a great place to be playing.
They said it's much more luxurious than the Coliseum was.
Yeah. And that's centerman Barzal.
Gotcha.
He's a centerman, so forward. All right, we are going to take one more quick break, and then when we come back, there was a coach that got some new paperwork, so we know what he is thankful for this Thanksgiving. We are going to list what we are thankful for this Thanksgiving in the hockey world, of course. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio. I am Adam. He is Zach. We will be back right after this.
What's up, sports fans? Are you looking for the latest on Northern California sports? Then take a trip out west with me, your host, Gina G, on Reppin' to NorCal Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'll be bringing it to you all the way live every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's always a packed show. I'll bring you everything Dynastic 49ers, the bite of the San Jose Sharks, torture of the San Francisco Giants, the Golden State Warriors that we still believe. Then take you across the bay to the rise and grind of the Oakland A's. I've got you covered on college ball from the Cal Bears to the Stanford Cardinal, so that no matter what, reppin' in NorCal sports is always reppin' the Bay. So if you bleed red and gold, or you're looking to keep an eye out west in them thar hills, don't miss me, Gina G, on Reppin' in NorCal Sports. Catch me every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'll have your fandom repped harder than a trio of defenders guarding Stephen Curry before his buzzer beater is Gucci.
What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Colin Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head prime-time face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week, I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world. From the English Premier League, to the World Cup, to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
What's up, everybody. This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you. Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. One more segment here tonight. Zach's going to lead us in with a little bit of the news from it first. The Colorado Avalanche signed their head coach to a 2-year extension here in the last couple of days.
Yes, sir. They signed Coach Jared Bednar, like you said, to a 2-year extension. It runs through the end of the 23-24 season. Jared Bednar guided the Avalanche to the President's Trophy for the league's top mark and their 4th straight postseason appearance last year. The Avs are off to a solid start this season. 49-year-old Bednar has a 192 to 54 to 40 career mark in 6 seasons in charge of Colorado. He's one win away from matching Bob Hartley for the most by a coach in Avalanche history. Excuse me. General Manager Joe Sakic was quoted as saying, "He is a great leader who has the complete trust of our players and staff. Under Bednar's guidance, their team has continued to make great strides and improve every year." This is the quotes continued. Sorry. "We know he's the right person to help us take that next step and compete for a Stanley Cup." Bednar boasts a 24-19 mark in the postseason. His playoff winning percentage is .558, and that is second best among active head coaches, trailing only John Cooper of the Tampa Bay Lightning with a .603 percentage. Colorado's made it to the second round of the playoffs and lost in the last 3 seasons. Last season, Colorado posted its highest points percentage in team history, 73%. A mark that topped the 2000-2001 season Stanley Cup championship team, 72%. Bednar was quoted as saying, "I'm grateful and excited to have the opportunity to continue to lead this team and build upon what we have accomplished so far." Bednar was hired August 25th, 2016. He continued saying, "We know we still have yet to achieve our ultimate goal, but we are confident in the group that we have, and we will continue to work hard to get there." Before arriving at Colorado, Bednar led Columbus's AHL affiliate to the 2016 Calder Cup title.
So you said his next win is going to allow him to set the record for most coaching wins for the Avalanche. He's got his next crack at that tomorrow night, again against the Anaheim Ducks. Taryn with SoCal Supreme will let you know on Fridays, give you the Ducks perspective of that. For the Avalanche perspective of that, check out Gary Funk on Saturday afternoons doing Made in Colorado, where he gives lots of Broncos talk, but also lots of Avalanche talk in there in his show. So definitely check both of those guys out for their shows. So obviously we know what Coach Bednar is thankful for as we get into this American Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday, and we thought to wrap up the show tonight, we would each give a few things for which we're thankful for hockey this season.
For sure. I'm just realizing that I don't think that anywhere in that article mentioned how much. Well, I don't know if he got a raise or not. Just his extension.
Oh no, he's doing it for free. It's just
yeah.
2 years of getting to do the job.
Pro bono.
Exactly, pro bono. Yes, exactly. Money? Why would I ask for money to do this?
Mel Tucker, $95 million for 10 years. What?
All right, we have time for one more small veer completely off topic before we wrap up the show. Had you asked me, I have to do the math here, 7 years ago,
okay,
if Mel Tucker would be employed by a football team, my answer would have been no. He guided arguably the worst defense in Bears history. They gave up over 50 points in back-to-back games under his tenure.
Well, that's what they just did this past weekend. So don't speak it into existence. Let's not have it happen this coming weekend.
Whose state got?
Well, we lost to Ohio State, and then we have Penn State coming up. Penn State's their average this year.
They're not Penn State, yeah, but he's done it before. I'll just leave it at that. Of course, he had help. He also had an imbecile for a head coach. I will have lots more Bears and football thoughts tomorrow on Chi-Town Weekly. Just stick around for that tomorrow night. Same time, same station.
Ulterior motive? I was trying to get you to tease your show. There you go.
Sure, we'll go with it. You made me tease my other show on a show. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel masochistic now. Thank you.
Well, all right. Let's turn that frown upside down. So, what are you thankful for in
hockey? Rule number 3. My number 3 thing for which I am grateful and thankful: ESPN having NHL games starting this season. Nothing against NBC. They did a terrific job. Doc Emmerich was a treasure. He was a phenomenal broadcaster. Hockey especially, he was phenomenal. ESPN, just bigger access, more access to the games, and also to their reporting, to the reporting side of things. They now have better access to the highlights, to cut reels, have their reporters more involved, more engaged into. So that's my number 3. What about you? What's your number 3?
I'm going to actually second that. Great reporting through ESPN. I loved NBC in the championship season. But, whenever it wasn't on TV, I was just bored during the day and I was trying to catch up on, the games for the previous night, or, looking forward to that evening's games. ESPN's website, they'd have a Stanley Cup Daily, and it was amazing reporting by Emily Kaplan and Greg Wyshynski. And so to see that they've got a larger expanded role now that ESPN has brought hockey back, or has a greater emphasis on it anyways. Yeah, I'm very thankful for that.
And that theme music. That's just one of the best sports theme songs of all time. Right up there with, I would say, NBC Sunday Night Football being number 2 there, but ESPN's Hockey Night is fantastic. And this is definitely going to be preaching to the choir, but if you are on Twitter and you're not following Emily Kaplan, shame on you. You are doing it wrong.
You're doing yourself a disservice.
A huge, huge, huge disservice. Yeah. As Zach throws his pen around the table. My number 2, it's a bit more of a serious thing to be thankful for. I am thankful that for lack of a better term, my local team, the Blackhawks, did indeed they allowed a thorough investigation to get into the Kyle Beach and into the John Doe situation. I'm still not happy with the fact that it happened, or with the way the team has necessarily handled it since then, but I am thankful that they allowed everything to come to light, and they are working on resolving it. They need to do a better job of resolving it, but that's a discussion for another time. I am thankful that they did that, and that Kyle and hopefully John Doe too are now able to get the resources that they need and the healing they deserve to put some much needed and much deserved closure on their parts to this.
For sure, yeah. My second one, being a Detroit fan, okay, we're going through a rebuilding time, but I'm thankful for having such a successful history, for winning 10, 11 cups, and having that playoff streak of 25, 26 years. And okay, well, now we just got to get it restarted. and Detroit doesn't really give us much to root for normally, so it's nice to have one team that actually has had a history of success.
Oh, and Taryn popped it back into the chat, and he's stealing a little bit of my thunder for my number one. Taryn chimes in. He says, I'm thankful for being a part of the best podcast group in the world and to listen to shows like this one. Thank you, Taryn. My number one is actually getting to do this show with you, Zach. This is a lot of fun to do every week. I am very thankful that Larry said yes when I threw the idea at him. I sent him an edited version of this to critique and listen, so he loses all the craziness. That's part of how we're able to keep going.
Oh, okay, good. So. Well, I will definitely second that. I'm glad Larry gave this, or I'm glad I let you run with it. I'm glad you extended the opportunity to me.
I would not have wanted to do this by myself, so thank you for saying yes.
You're welcome. I had two other quick ones. I'm thankful for fresh blood in the league. Vegas and Seattle. It's just, spices things up and makes it much more interesting. As much as I love the NFL, I feel like it might get a little stale sometimes. Same teams winning over and over and over again, like Patriots, etc. Or players, Tom Brady. And then the other one, I'm just thankful for another exciting sport and one of the best postseasons in all four, major American sports.
Amen. Yes. The NHL playoffs are a ton of fun to watch and to check out. Some of the best couple months of the sports calendar every year.
Well, that and there's only 7 Canadian teams, and this is the only sport that really highlights them. You've got the CFL, which is completely different from the NFL. You've got the Raptors and you've got the Blue Jays, and that's it for the other sports. I mean, I guess there's a couple soccer teams, I guess, if you go that far. But yeah.
Yeah, Vancouver's
not enough to make a whole division,
Yeah, Vancouver's got a football club. I can't think of the name of them. Where's Andrew Hagenball when I need him? But yes, the CFL is a whole different animal. We've talked about that sometimes
Rough
a little
Riders,
bit on
Red Blacks. Yeah, that's what all. Oh, Argonauts, I think.
Toronto. Yeah, that's a whole different animal. We've talked about that a little bit on 3 and Out occasionally in the summertime. That's a whole different animal of football. So yeah, to have the NHL to really showcase Canada, not just not just in a sporting sense, but in a community sense, is fantastic as well. All right, well, that is going to wrap things up for us tonight. Before I cue the music, because I know in the open my mic was not picking me up great, so I want to get this in real quick. Another shout out to all of our sponsors, the Southern California Warriors and Background Check International. Thank you to you guys. And please be sure to check out iesportsradio.com. You can find our link to our Patreon. Big thing there. Please, if you are at all able, check out our Patreon and help us out there. But there's also all kinds of other fun things on the website as well. We've got our Fan of the Month, the Turbaned Patriot. Really cool dude, really knowledgeable football fan. If you get to a primetime game that is going to be featuring the Patriots, check out the 3 and Out primetime face-off. Turban Patriot will be part of it. You will learn something either about the Patriots or the other team. I guarantee it. So you can check that out. Plus all the other cool and fun things. We've got a forum up there doing giveaways, lots of giveaways going on. And of course, please, if you are able, check out the Patreon. All right, that is going to do it for our show tonight. I hope that we were able to entertain you at least a little bit tonight. We stayed mostly on topic, mostly on track for the show. Again, thank you to our sponsors, the Southern California Warriors, Background Check International. Thank you to Larry for everything that he does throughout the station, keeping everything going. Thank you to Karen for hanging out in the chat room with us. I hope you were able to get your chores done. He did tell us that we've been entertained, which is good. We're making chores, hopefully going to work good for you tonight. Thank you guys for continuing to come here and hang out with us every week as we dive through the NHL, the AHL, college, Olympics, all sorts of the craziness that goes on in the global sport that is hockey. Hockey. Interboard. Shoot the puck. All right. Next week, it is just going to be Zach doing the show. I've got some other obligations, so Zach is going to be doing a solo show next week, but he will be here, so be sure to check him out. You can also check out Zach. Are you doing Detroit this week? 10 p.m. Thursday, so yes, check out Zach. Same time on Thursday, he's talking all things Detroit sports. I'm sure he will be talking some Red Wings. I'm sure he'll also be talking about his Michigan State Spartans and the spanking they took at the hands of Ohio State. If you, for some reason, want to hear more of my voice, you can check me out tomorrow night. I will be doing Chi-Town Weekly, talking about things Chicago. Nothing was new in Chicago. We will get into that. All right. Until then, stay out of the penalty box, stay off the boards, put the puck in the net. We'll see you next week.